SHS, we await the outcome of your policies. Mr. Speaker, we are aware that this incoming government is going to implement this Nkukwa Nkete policy. The Nkukwa Nkete is a social intervention program. We are going to welcome it. But you say you are going to reduce taxes. You are going to repeal the betting tax, the e-levy. You are going to repeal all these taxes. You are going to reduce the taxes at the ports. We wonder where you get the money to implement the Nkukwa Nkete. We are waiting. Mr. Speaker, these are on a lighter note. But Mr. Speaker, clearly, this is a time for us to reflect, particularly those of us getting into opposition. Indeed, no party can run a perfect government in this country. When you get into government, whilst you are happy to implement your policies, you are likely to make some mistakes. We concede that some mistakes were made. We concede that we couldn't have done everything perfect. The people have spoken, we've accepted it. But Mr. Speaker, the coming days and years will reveal the true colors of this umbrella. And the elephant will be watching keenly in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, this House looks forward to a leadership that will keep us going and keep the lights on in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, let me commend you for the 4 years of your leadership in this House. Mr. Speaker, we may have our disagreements, but it is obvious that members' welfare have been key to your leadership. Nobody can take it away from you. Mr. Speaker, the institutional empowerment you've given to Parliament is equal to none. It's largely because, Mr. Speaker, we had you as a speaker coming from within. Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether you are being retained or a new person is going to be appointed, but I pray that if they decide, Mr. Speaker, if they sack you, Mr. Speaker, of all that you've done for them, they are going to sack you. Of all that Mr. Speaker has done for you, you are going to sack Mr. Speaker. We will see. Mr. Speaker, if they decide to retain you, I know Parliament is going to benefit. But should they decide to retire you, Mr. Speaker, they can do it. They can do it. They are unpredictable. They can do it. If they decide to retain you, the happiness of this House will gather further momentum. However, if the new government decides to bring a new speaker, that speaker should come from within. We don't want an outsider. We want somebody from within who would understand us. But Mr. Speaker, having said that, we have some major government business outstanding that I would want to encourage colleagues that within the few days and weeks left, we should do everything possible to deal with these government business so that we can say that it is indeed finished. Mr. Speaker, there are also some important welfare matters that I would want to pledge to my colleagues, that together with my colleague Dr. Ato Forson, who by virtue of his position in the transitional arrangement so far, I know he would understand the need to cooperate to ensure the happiness of members. I cannot foresee members being happy to do the rest of government business when we've not dealt with the issues of welfare. Mr. Speaker, these matters must be attended to. Members have projects outstanding in their constituencies. We need to together work and ensure that statutory funds that are outstanding are released so that members can continue their projects, hand them over, especially those who are leaving us. Mr. Speaker, to colleagues who could not make it, there's a better day tomorrow. Do not give up. The Frenchman will say, c'est la vie. This is life. There are good days and bad days. If you lost, get back to the people, understand them, do some research, and I'm quite sure that upon that and reflection, you'll be better prepared for a better day tomorrow. There are some amongst us who lost elections and came back. Go to them, consult them, and engage them. And if you are desirous of remaining in public life, I'm sure you'll make it the next time around. For those of us who have won, let us be mindful of the needs of our people. We should really evaluate, assess, and critically analyze our votes. Those that were coming down, we should know what the people are telling us, so that we'll be better prepared for the next election in terms of the decisions that we'll take. Mr. Speaker, with this, I would want to again welcome colleagues and thank also the parliamentary service staff. They've been our silent enablers, encouraging us, supporting us. You know, Mr. Speaker, they make us function and function effectively. To them, I say thank you. We appreciate your work in silence. God will richly bless you for all you do in silence for the benefit of the people's representatives. Mr. Speaker, without more, let me thank you for this opportunity, and I say may God bless this house. Thank you.
Honorable members, it is with a deep sense of duty and gratitude that I warmly welcome you to the grand arena of the Accra International Conference Center to commence the sittings of the 7th meeting of the 4th session of the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic of Ghana. Considering how stressful the election season has been, many of you would have loved to spend some time with your friends and families and to recuperate and de-stress. Unfortunately, you did not get that luxury. I am glad it has not been lost on you that this House stands at a critical juncture in our nation's parliamentary history. And so you have responded to the notice of summons to attend this national call beyond the expectations of our people. I appreciate all of you for the acceptance of my call to reconvene Parliament today. I want to take advantage of this opportunity to congratulate the people of Ghana, particularly the voters, for the exceptional display of maturity in the exercise of the right of choice as to who should lead our nation in the next government. The peaceful manner in which Ghanaians participated in this pivotal process is a clear affirmation of our collective resolve to uphold, protect, and entrench democratic culture in the governance of our country. We have learned some lessons in the aftermath of voting, and I'm hopeful steps will be taken to remedy the defects in the electoral system and the process, particularly of collation. Despite these drawbacks, the spirit of cooperation and respect exhibited by a majority of the voters and political leaders reflect the resilience and maturity of our democracy. Let us acknowledge, appreciate, and celebrate this achievement and use it as a solid foundation stone for continuous dialogue and collaboration as we work together to build the Ghana we want. To some of you, honorable members, this meeting may be the last moment of service within the corridors of Parliament, but certainly not the end of your political service or end of life. You never know what life holds in store for you. I encourage you to soldier on. Who knows, you may be, in the near future, you may join the group of members of Parliament referred to in this House as "we shall return." Kindly take heart and remain hopeful of the future. Having said this, on behalf of the Parliament of Ghana, I extend our hearty congratulations to the President of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for his leadership in the organization of the general elections, and the Vice President for conceding defeat early enough to dose the heat generated by the decisive vote of the people of Ghana. I'll also, on your behalf, applaud the President-elect, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the Vice President-elect, Her Excellency Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman, for scoring an emphatic victory and a heavy mandate of Ghanaians at the just ended general elections. I need not remind anyone of the saying, "To whom much is given, much is expected." Your promise to reset Ghana has been massively endorsed by the voters, and you cannot afford to disappoint them. I trust Parliament will be a reliable partner and a gatekeeper to ensure a just delivery of that promise. Many opportunities have been unleashed and many more myths broken by this victory. But I'm very, very happy that we did not just pass the law on gender for nothing. It has already shown some fruits. Her Excellency's ascendancy to the position of the Vice President of this nation has not just opened the door, it has opened doors. And I'm happy with her promise that she's going to keep the doors open for many more to take advantage of and to improve the living standard of our people. Ghana's democracy is the ultimate winner of these elections. We are definitely on the right course. I want to encourage all to continue in that right direction. Honorable members, this meeting is for a few days, being a product of a culmination of teething problems of our fourth attempt at democratic governance. I take this opportunity to acknowledge the commitment, resilience, and dedication that some of you honorable members have made and displayed to ensure that the term of this Parliament ends successfully. Together, we have maneuvered and creditably navigated through, for the first time, an unexpected hung Parliament with its unprecedented challenges. Despite our failings as legislators and leaders, Ghanaians held their peace and endured with admirable patience and tolerance. I take this opportunity to commend all Ghanaians for the show and demonstration of democratic maturity. As we prepare to embark on this penultimate meeting, we have, honorable members, work to do. We have a duty to perform. We have a parliament to strengthen, and we have a nation to build. The business of this House is far from complete, and the legislative priorities before us demand nothing short of our loyal service, utmost dedication, focus, and firm action. Several crucial private and public bills, tax and financial requisitions, international agreements, and committee reports are pending and at various stages of consideration. Unfortunately, the season and time are not in favor of a heavy work schedule as detailed out on the order paper. We are compelled, in the circumstances, to be realistic and to prioritize business. Unless we abandon the interests of the people and nation, there is no way the long list of government business on the order paper could be done within this limited period of time before the end of the term of office of this Parliament. Consequently, I propose the House considers the following items as priority business. 1. Expenditure in advance of appropriation bill 2024. 2. Environmental protection bill 2024. The consideration of the clauses of this bill has been taken already. It just left with the third reading only. 3. Boundary Commission Bill 2024. This is a very urgent bill due to the state of insecurity in the world, particularly our sub-region, West Africa. So the Social Protection Bill 2023 as number 4. Parliament Transition Bill 2023. The Parliamentary Service Bill 2024, and a few Public Accounts Committee reports, which, if not taken, will lapse and have to be referred to a new committee in the 9th Parliament. And I believe that will cause irreparable damage to our economy. The 2 bills sponsored by Parliament are essential in refining the processes involved in the peaceful transfer of the management and administration of Parliament to prevent the occurrence of the ugly incidents at the birth of the 8th Parliament. It is time the House takes a decisive action to enact a law to strand out in clear terms the processes and procedures of transition from one Parliament to the other. The Presidential Transition Act 2012 is a shining precedent for the executive arm of government. Additionally, the long-awaited International Business and Economic Transaction Bill, which is pivotal in positioning Ghana as a key player in the global economic arena, ought to be considered. I'm however giving a signal that this is unlikely to happen because of the nature of the bill. But I believe that this bill lays the groundwork for more robust, clear, and transparent international economic engagements, enhancing investor confidence while safeguarding our national interests. I urge the Business Committee and leadership of the House to sequence the programming of these essential legislative items. Honourable members, let us end this Parliament on a good note. It is essential as leaders for us to act to preserve the gains of our democracy. In summary, I emphasize our sacred mandate to serve the people of Ghana. This sacred mandate remains active until the end of this parliamentary term, and nobody should forget of that. Once more, you are all warmly welcome, and I thank you for your attention. Honorable members, we will now move to the next item, definitely our usual item of correction of votes and proceedings and official reports. I have two additions. The first, dated Tuesday, 22nd October 2024. I hope members have copies of that. And so we start with the Tuesday, 22nd October 2024, page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Sorry, page 4. Honorable Member for West Central.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I just want to draw attention to the fact that you adjourned because there was no quorum. But if you look at the total number of people listed here, you have 171. It does contradict the reason you adjourned the House. Purposely for lack of quorum. And you have 171. I just wonder how it is. And the report is saying that the caucus, the majority caucus, did not attend the House. So it kind of contradicts the essence of the reasons you close the, you adjourn. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Member.
Right, Honourable Speaker, I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm just wondering if we have been given different votes and proceedings for 22nd October 2024. Because, right, Honourable Speaker, what I have has 120 members, not 170 as Honourable Pelpo has. So that's Tuesday, 22nd October 2024. I have 120 members present, 7 members absent with permission, and then, Mr. Speaker, 148 members absent without permission. That's what I have. So I don't know if we have been issued with different votes and proceedings for Tuesday, 22nd October 2024.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I'm just adding my voice to what former Deputy Leader said, Honorable Rashid Pelpo, in respect of their votes. Mr. Speaker, even if it was 120 as per the records, the 120 present was sufficient number for the House to sit and deliberate on matters. So I just wanted to add my voice to what he said without more. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Again, Honorable Ablakwa.
Hello? Yeah, I'm grateful, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I rise to draw the attention of the Honourable Majority Leader that the intervention he just made has been settled by the Right Honourable Speaker. If the Majority Leader pays regard to page 8, paragraph 7.3, the Speaker explained that, quote, the Right Honourable Speaker indicated that per Article 102 of the 1992 Constitution and Order 64.1 of the Standing Orders of Parliament, the House had quorum to transact business. However, per Article 1041 of the Constitution, the House did not have the numbers to take decisions. So the matter was addressed by the Right Honourable Speaker. So that intervention that we had the numbers to proceed and all of that. The Speaker, we only had the numbers to form a quorum, but we didn't have the numbers to take a decision under Article 1041, which the Right Honourable Speaker properly addressed. So I don't know where the Majority Leader is going with this. You are leading us astray. And if we can focus on the correct vote and proceedings, if we do have the same vote and proceedings for Tuesday, 22nd October 2024, I think that will be helpful.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Before I respond to my respected colleague, and I know that he wasn't attempting to challenge me on procedure. In the least, my procedure is good. Mr. Speaker, you made me aware some time ago, and this is a preliminary comment before I come to this issue, that sometimes a speaker may have to make a mistake to ensure that democracy survives. So, Mr. Speaker, this you told me some time ago, that sometimes some mistakes are necessary. I'm referring to Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm saying that sometimes some mistakes are made just to get things done. I have said that in jest, but let me go to the issue. The issue raised by Honourable Pelko was to the effect that the House was adjourned because there was no quorum to sit, not quorum to take decisions. That was his argument. Mr. Speaker, that was his argument, that why is it that although we had sufficient numbers to proceed with the day's sitting. Mr. Speaker, in Parliament, we don't only sit to take decisions. We sit also to make statements. When it comes to statements, statements are made where a matter of national importance is considered, is debated. A motion could also be taken. It is only when it gets to the point of decision making that the secondary stage of quorum would have to be triggered. Mr. Speaker, the issue is the primary issue of quorum, which Honourable Pelko wanted to draw the House's attention to the fact that we had quorum to sit. There wasn't any government business on the floor that day. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to take it that perhaps it was one of those necessary errors to get democracy going. But Mr. Speaker, there was no such issue of lack of quorum for the House to sit. and the 120 members present answers the question. Nobody should attempt to create confusion on this matter. Honorable members should not throw dust into our eyes. This is the issue. Hands up will capture the record. The vote is here that we had 120 members present. That is in respect of the 22nd of October 2024. Is here. The last person is Zidane Bed and Watazumo. Is here, Mr. Speaker. So the House was properly constituted to proceed with deliberations, and to undertake other legislative work. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, Honorable Rashid Elpo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think we are operating at two different lengths. I made a mistake and made reference to the Thursday sitting, which had 171 members. And so he is talking about the Tuesday meeting. So he may be arguing on the right path or otherwise, but that's not exactly what I meant. I just wanted to make reference to the 171 members. And I thought that the 171 members were not present in the House and couldn't have been captured in the vote and proceedings. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Honorable members. Yes, please. Honorable Blackwell, yes.
I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the majority leader is raising a matter that, Mr. Speaker, we have to pay attention to. This being a House of Record, and these are matters that went all the way to the Supreme Court. They are constitutional issues, and we should not gloss over them. The fact of the matter is that when we convened here on the 22nd of October, our colleagues on the other side did not attend proceedings. They were not in this House. They boycotted the sitting. And so we did not have a decision-making quorum. And that is the basis upon which the Speaker ruled, which is clearly stated in the votes and proceedings. So for the majority leader to be using the back door, albeit surreptitiously, to say that there was a mistake by the Speaker, there was no mistake. There was no mistake. The fact of the matter is that we did not have a decision-making quorum. And the Speaker stated emphatically that there were decisions that we had to take. We didn't meet that day to read statements and to exchange pleasantries and to file questions and all of that. There was a motion, there was the need to take a decision. And we didn't have a quorum to take that decision. We didn't have the minimum 138 to take a decision. We didn't have that. So, Mr. Speaker ruled clearly. And Mr. Speaker, in case the majority leader wants us to refer him again to page 8, the Speaker's ruling is there clearly that the House, the Article 1041 of the Constitution, did not have the numbers to take a decision because there was, according to the Speaker, a matter that required a decision to be taken. And we did not have the numbers to take a decision. So if you read it, it's stated clearly. Just read the ruling fully, and you'll see that the Speaker was very, very clear that we were meeting to take decisions, and we did not have a quorum to take a decision. So So, Majority Leader, this is your attempt to use the back door to rewrite what had happened and to even suggest that the Speaker made a mistake. And you know, as many others, if the Speaker made a mistake, have you come by motion to challenge the ruling of the Speaker? The Speaker's ruling has not been challenged. And that is the ruling of this House. That's what this that's what the records reflect. Make progress. You called for an emergency sitting. You ran away. You didn't show up. We were here. You were nowhere to be found. I actually thought you used to apologize to Mr. Speaker.
No, it didn't go inside.
The problem.
Contorted argument that no decision was being made. So calling that order to enforce is wrong. He himself, in speaking, he said that there was no decision on the order paper to be made. So maybe we should take advantage that the item on the table now, on the floor now, is correction of votes and proceedings. So, Mr. Speaker, if something has been stated wrongly, this is the time to correct it so that we can move on.
Honorable members, I think we should just proceed. The person who raised the issue said his reference was to a different order, votes on proceedings, dated Thursday, 7th November 2024, not the one we're considering, dated Tuesday, 22nd October 2024. And so that ends it. And for the others, those who believe that I erred in my ruling may need to be taken to school. I'm not sure they read the ruling very well. And that ruling actually worked in their favor. Honorable Majority Leader, it actually worked in your favor. And for you to come here and try to impede on that ruling, please, I really was surprised that you raised the issue that you put across. It's not correct. Please.
It will not intend the temperature. Mr. Speaker, I never raised this matter. Honorable Rashid.
I'm not saying you raised the matter. I've not said that.
Mr. Speaker,
but you gave an example that I told you. I'm sure you are talking about maybe in private.
No, Mr. Speaker, that's
sometimes
different.
the Speaker errs.
Mr. Speaker, not on this occasion. It was not related to this. Mr. Speaker, it's not related to this. Mr. Speaker, today is the first day. Don't mind them. They are provoking you. Don't mind them. It is not like, Mr. Speaker, don't mind them. Don't be provoked. Mr. Speaker, be a very happy man. I beg you. I don't want them.
Don't worry. I will never be provoked.
Mr. Speaker, that's
but
okay.
the public, they are listening to us.
Mr. Speaker, I didn't relate it.
You know,
I beg you.
And the public will be misled. I gave about 3 reasons. And I'm sure you didn't avert your mind to the 3rd reason. For the reason why I adjourned, actually not suspend, I adjourned the meeting indefinitely. And I listened to some of you debate this matter on air. And I thought you should have been commending me for adjourning it, but you were rather condemning me for doing so. It saddened me, but I understand the arena we are in. And so I've taken it cool in my stride. as we go along, we will have to deepen the orientation and training of members of parliament so that we don't get the public being confused by you who are seen as leaders, you who are seen who should know better, rather misleading them. So let's go back to the correction of votes and proceedings on the votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 22nd October 2024. We're at page 4. And those present, as you can see, are 120. Those absent with permission were only 7. Then the rest are absent without permission. So please, page 4. Yes.
No. Page 4. Item 13. I was present, but be marked as absent.
Table office, kindly take note. Yes. Honorable member. Are you on your feet to... Sorry. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Yes. Honorable Oseiche Mensah-Bonsu.
Speaker, page 6, item numbered as 98. I think I transmitted a leave of absence request that have been marked as absent without permission. So if you may direct table officers to take note of that. And having said so, Mr. Speaker, even though we sat a bit late, it's past 2 o'clock, it's almost 3. I don't know whether you may want to call for an extension of the sitting period.
Yes, I may need to look at our new standing orders. A few things have been changed in the new standing orders. But I call on the table office to look at the request for permission and whether that request was approved. If so, please, you do the right thing by making sure that he's absent with permission. If not, you leave it as it is. But now our standing orders talks about us sitting for 5 hours, not the 4 hours as indicated by the earlier standing orders. And so there have been some change as to a time to announce or give notice to the House of an extension of sitting. So we may have to look at it again. Page 7. Yes, please.
You're right, Honorable Speaker. I was marked absent without permission, but I was present. Thank you.
What's your number?
Number is 138.
1
8.
$138. Yes, you want to help her?
No, Mr. Speaker, I had a different matter that I wanted to raise, but she said 138, page 7.
Yes, 138, yes. Yes, you could now add yours.
And Mr. Speaker, again on page 7, number 134, I was in the House but marked absent, so if can be captured.
Are you sure that day you were in the House?
Mr. Speaker, yes. And I even granted an interview on that day. I came in and my members had done the press conference and left. But at least I was in the chamber, and it should reflect as such. If we are here independently representing our people, on that day, I was here. And I granted an interview after that.
Yes, table office. Kindly take note of that. Page 8. Yes, sorry, page 7.
7. Mr. Speaker, number 115. I was present that day, but not absent. Thank you.
Number 115. Kindly take note. Yes.
Speaker, thank you. Page 6, number 69. I was present in the chamber. Thank you.
Table office, kindly take note. Any more? Okay, we'll move to page 8. Page 9. Page 8. Yes, please.
I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, page 8, the tradition of this House, when there has been a boycott by one side, is that the votes and proceedings capture that. But you go through the entire votes and proceedings, and Mr. Speaker, that is not reflected. Mr. Speaker, for example, if you take the Thursday, 7 November 1, that is captured. That boycott or lack of attendance is stated. But in the case of the 22nd October 2024, no show by our colleagues on the other side is not captured. You only get a slight sense of that when you look at the Speaker's ruling, where the Speaker says that the House did not have the numbers to take decisions. But why didn't we have the numbers? That must be stated, because our colleagues were not in the House that day. And that has been the tradition. It is always stated in the votes and proceedings. So, Mr. Speaker, if the table office can reflect that development, because it is missing.
Yes, Honorable, is that Chairman of Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in response to my colleague's correction, I do not think that we were in the House and we walked out. That's what we call boycott. Members, it is recorded that 120 were present. This number was absent with permission, and these numbers were absent, Mr. Speaker. And I think that the record is captured it straight away. Nothing happened in the chamber that indicates that a group of the people had boycotted Parliament. And therefore, I think it should remain as such. Thank you.
Well, I can only direct the table office to cross-check as to what happened that day. Because on record, there is no indication of a boycott or even a walkout. But my ruling gave an indication that we do not have sufficient numbers. And definitely those of us who were present also observed a few things. And I think that it would have been captured by the verbatim reporters who were present in the House. But our attention has been drawn by the Honourable Member for Domi Kwabinya that she came later on and was present in the House. And so we have to make sure that we capture all this. But I recall talking about adjourning the House, the meeting, not suspending the meeting. So please, table office, take note of it at paragraph 3 of my ruling. Now we go to page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Page 14. Page 15. Page 16. Page 17. Honourable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 22nd October 2024 are hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. We now take Thursday, 7th November 2024, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 7. Yes, please.
I'm going to write on the speaker. Write on the speaker, page 7, item number 4, your formal communication to the House. Second paragraph, the two requests, the dates provided are incomplete. We only have 22nd October and 24th October, but the year is missing. So if they can add a year, this being a House of Records, I presume it's 22nd October 2024 and 24th October 2024. I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker.
Table office kindly do so. Page 8. Honourable members, the votes and proceedings of the emergency sitting dated Thursday, 7th November 2024, as corrected, are adopted as a true record of proceedings. We now move to the official reports, and I have 4 copies of different sorry, my attention has been drawn to the fact that Honourable Osei Mensah was on his feet. Sorry. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, not really a matter of controversy. I thought that is for consistency. Mr. Speaker, you adjourned the sitting of 7th November 2024 on account of the prevailing situation in the House, that you took cognizance of the fact that a group of members were not present in the House, and then you proceeded to, on account of that, you proceeded to adjourn the House sine die. That was on the 7th of November 2024. Speaker, on Tuesday, 22nd October 2024, when you adjourned the House, it was an account of prevailing circumstances. One, and you yourself mentioned it, the prevailing circumstances. Two, the question on the composition and constitution of Parliament. And three, having regard to public interest. These were the three reasons that you cited, and then you proceeded to adjourn the House. Speaker, I'm just juxtaposing the two circumstances. Same thing. And in that regard, what you did will not qualify for a ruling, because I've heard people refer to the fact that you made a ruling. A ruling on what? A ruling is only made when there's a matter in contention, and then you come in to give your interpretation and how the House should proceed. So what you did, captured on page 8 of the votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 22nd October 2024, which has been described as your ruling, with the greatest respect. The adjournment was an account of the prevailing circumstances, and you related to it. And as far as I'm concerned, that will not qualify for a ruling of the House. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, we are correcting votes and proceedings. There's nothing here that says that the Speaker gave a ruling. There's nothing. Mr. Speaker, page 8 says Speaker informed the House. So it was information coming from Mr. Speaker. As for what other people have said on radio, it cannot be part of our votes and proceedings.
Well, I take it that the word ruling has been used loosely, because the votes and proceedings are very clear. They refer to what happened that day as formal communications. On both instances, it's captured there as formal communications. But what is generally understood by many, particularly the public, is ruling. And so we are all caught up. Even I have fallen a number of times into that trap, and I've used it a number of times. So it's not a formal ruling, but just communication to the House. And I think that the former majority leader was drawing our attention to it. But Honorable Mama Ayalga is right. We are correcting the votes and proceedings of the House, and there's nothing referred there to ruling. It's just information to members. It's a formal communication. Yes, Member of Parliament for Domi Kwabenya.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, also to take you back to the vote and proceedings, which you've already cleared it, but I just want to draw your attention to something on page 14 about the Committee on Employment, Labor Relations and Pensions. Honorable Comfort Doyo originally is not a member of the committee, but the matter that we were considering was bothering in her, or was happening in her constituency. And I remember that every time that we met, she made herself available. So if it can be captured as in attendance, at least it would capture the true reflection of what happened on that day. She's always been part of our meeting as the Member of Parliament in the Adan area where the electoral issue occurred. Not as a member of the committee, but as the sitting member of Parliament who has shown concern. Thank you.
The table office kindly take note. Anyway, let's now look at the official report, starting with the one on 5th July 2024, which is a Friday. The proceedings of that day has been captured verbatim in the official report. Any corrections? Honorable members. Yes, please. You don't have copies?
No, right, Honourable Speaker. Yes, please. We don't have copies.
What about the 9th, 10th, and 11th July? These are none. Then we'll have to take it another day. Please, table office, take note of that and get copies across to members. Honourable members, we move to the next item. Business statement. Chairman, Business Committee.
Right, Honourable Speaker, with respect, I shall proceed with a business statement for the week ending 20th of December 2024. Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee met and agreed on the business for the week. Same has been captured by a 9-page document signed by my very self and attached to this report. Mr. Speaker, per what we have, we expect to not only end on Friday, but Mr. Speaker, if you would permit, we may have to add Saturday to the sitting so that we could adjourn for the Christmas and then come back. Mr. Speaker, all these that have been proposed are conditioned on resolving some critical outstanding matters, particularly statutory payment and other matters that members expect action on. I expect the whips to take this matter up, the majority and the minority whips to take the outstanding statutory payment matters up so that it will pave the way for us to have a smooth deliberation for the week. The Speaker, the report has been circulated to all members, and I shall proceed to resume my seat and let's invite comment from members so that we bring a finality to the program for the week. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honourable members, we take it that the business report has been presented. Any comments? Yes, Honourable Haruna Idrisu.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to make a comment on the business statement presented by the leader of government business. And Mr. Speaker, one thought that the leader would take a cue from your guidance. There are major developments in the country, and therefore, as a House, Mr. Speaker, one of the most important business this House should preoccupy itself with is the expenditure in advance of appropriation for January to May 2025. Arguably, Mr. Speaker, because the new government, which will assume the powers of government from 7th January, will have to put its act together in order to get a budget before the reconstituted Parliament on midnight of 6th to 7th January. Therefore, what we are expected to do is to know, one, how the workers of this country will be taken care of in respect of compensation. Then, if there are interest payment commitments on loans in order that the country does not stand in default, that will also be addressed. So, Mr. Speaker, whilst you are giving your comments, I'm not sure the leader was listening. So that is major business. As for wanting to commit the new administration to some of the policy guidance, Mr. Speaker, we note that this government has a mandate until midnight of 6th January. But cautiously, they should be guided that they are not committing the incoming administration to some fiscal and budget constraints with some of the decisions they want to make. So he should, as you guided, Mr. Speaker, some of it that he wants to, some of the business he wants to take, even though he says that he wants understanding and consensus, he should be guided and prioritize government business. Our first major business should be the expenditure in advance of appropriation that this House must concern itself with. The other business can wait. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Blackwell.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Right, Honorable Speaker, the list of priorities for this meeting, Mr. Speaker, I want to respectfully appeal to you. As you read through your list of priorities, I was hoping to hear that we will include work on the constitutional amendment bill on the dual citizenship matter. Because, Mr. Speaker, I thought that we had come very far on that. But I didn't hear you speak to that matter, and it also doesn't find expression here in the business statement. So, Mr. Speaker, if you can probably avert your mind to that. Then, Mr. Speaker, the second issue that I want to raise relates to the tall list of tax waivers that the majority leader continues to present to this House in business statements. Mr. Speaker, we have stated our position on this matter, and considering the fact that all of these matters have been voted against and rejected by the Ghanaian people, why is the majority leader still putting it in the business statement and wanting to get us to work on these matters, which are so unpopular? A tall list, over 40 tax waivers, Mr. Speaker, and this will have serious fiscal implications for the next government. I mean, why do you want to saddle the next government with these huge revenue losses when you have been roundly rejected at the polls? And there's a government talking about coming to cut down obnoxious and nuisance taxes. And then you are creating more fiscal liabilities for us. So, Mr. Speaker, we want to serve notice that these tax waivers, we are not going to support them. So, please listen to the Right Honourable Speaker's list of priorities, particularly the budget for the first 3 months of next year. As for tax waivers, we cannot support you. Honourable Afenyo-Markin, we cannot support you. So you need to really get this out of the business statement. I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Chairman. Yes, Honorable Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh. Opoku-Prempeh, yes.
It's not hyphenated.
It's not.
It's not.
Only the NAPO is together.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thought the minority leader and the majority leader had come to an understanding as far as government business that we can pursue this session that we are undergoing. Just to get up and say that Ghanaians have totally rejected MPP and all his bills and all his encumbrances is a very, very unfair statement, Mr. Speaker. It's a very, very unfair statement in the sense that there are other things that have been programmed that I think that we shouldn't even bother to do. Why should we at this time take up any bill, whether it is environmental bill or social bill? I think the new government then should come and start, because we are resetting. And I agree, Ghanaians voted for resetting. So, Mr. Speaker, let's probably, the only thing we have to do is to take the vote on account and close shop. We should not continue with any business here, because like Honorable Okujeto said, and rightly so, Ghanaians have voted for the resetting agenda of Nkoko Nkiti. So, not only that, Mr. Speaker, apart from the vote and proceedings and maybe his end of service benefits that he's very much interested in, every other thing, social protection bill, second reading of bills, third reading, so that we have enough time to do Article 71 business and do vote on account, such that, yes, if it is not worth doing, it's not worth doing. Please. So we have agreed on resetting. Let's close shop on everything. Do those that are interested in that will further his own personal interest. And close shop. Thank you.
Honorable members, we don't need to debate this matter. I've guided the House because I know what happened at the end of 2000. And I know what happened at the end of 2008. I know what happened at the end of 2016. I know the statements that incoming governments made and the outgoing governments. And we are following those good practices. And so before I gave the proposals in my statement, leadership had a bite on it. Where they agree, I captured it. Where they disagreed, I eliminated it. So I just simply said the items are captured in my statement, sequence them so that we can handle them, because I thought the number one priority is the expenditure in advance of appropriation. In fact, I was told that we will start it today. I'm aware that a request was also made for the Public Accounts Committee reports because of the nature of those reports. And so I captured those things for our consideration. Beyond that, not for the determination of the 8th Parliament. Then the 9th Parliament will come to continue if the new government considers it necessary to proceed with. So let's take to this agenda and let's get some business done. Please. That will be my focus. Yes, Minority Chief Whip.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Just to add that, Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Leader of the House suggested we sit on Saturday. Mr. Speaker, that is totally rejected. There's no reason for us to sit on Saturday. Mr. Speaker, on 2 occasions, his side dragged us out of our constituencies to this house to do what he described as urgent business, which is not different from what is placed here. He refused to even come and do his own business. Now that you have called us under normal circumstances, he's asking us to add another day, a Saturday. Mr. Speaker, what is the justification? And that is why I adopt the position by the former running mate of New Patriotic Party, my own friend, Honorable Dr. Opoku Prempeh, who says that we should take the businesses that are urgent, that is appropriation in advance expenditure in advance of appropriation, and those items that are time bound, and then we call it a day. The new government comes and decide what priorities are. Then we do them, Mr. Speaker. So I think, leader, we beg you. I know you have a tough job, but to assume that we can do, you know it yourself, we cannot start any bill now. We've never even done it before. It is just not, and I would encourage you. The atmosphere in the House today appears to be cordial. I entreat you to entrench the peaceful nature of this House towards Friday. Any attempt to do other things may not be good. And you also said the whips should do something about welfare. Leader, you have the key to addressing the welfare issues of this House. I have no control over the finance minister. I have no control over the common fund administrator. You can do that. I don't even know the last time I saw the how do you call it, the common fund administrator. All I know is that during the campaign, candidates of a particular party receive a lot of goodies from common fund. It's not from her. It's not from her. Okay. Honorable Dr. Opoku Prempeh said that it's not from her. I just said, I didn't mention any name. I said they receive goodies. One particular party received goodies that appear to be goods from common fund. But if it's not from her, fine. But the only people who can cause the common fund administrator to disburse to the assemblies, the only person who can cause the common fund administrator to fulfill her mandate as in the Constitution is you, not our side. But if he fails, maybe we would advise ourselves. So there is no shifting of responsibility. You have the opportunity. I've seen people call you majority leader today. Lift the expectation. We have 5 days to prove you are majority leader. I will reserve further comments.
Honorable members, we are on the business statement. Yes, Chairman, Business Committee, and Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, these items that have been listed on the business statement have not suddenly arisen. They are not matters that have suddenly arisen. They have been with us. In the spirit of continuity in governance, in the spirit of a certain novel precedence to guide tomorrow, I want to encourage my colleagues to cooperate with government to do this key government business. For instance, Mr. Speaker, my respected colleague Ablakwa of Norton stated that the incoming government intends to reduce taxes and deal with obnoxious the tax regime we have, according to him. If that were to be so, why will this same incoming government reject the 1D, 1F, which is giving an incentive? Because we don't want too many imposition of taxes on corporate Ghana. What this tax is doing, what this is doing, is to take away the taxes. You say that you are going to repeal taxes. We are giving an incentive. You say no.
Honorable Majority Leader, business statement.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I'm responding to the consensus.
No, we are not debating the subject matter. We are looking at the business statement and the items.
So, Mr. Speaker, what I'm saying is that I did not just come up with these. We sat at the committee. It's a collective decision to bring this proposal
Mr. Speaker, they should know that they are coming into government too. This opposition posture, you better change. I mean, you are no more in opposition. Or you better stop that your behavior. You should change your behavior. We should see signs of your readiness to govern and stop this violence, chaotic, bugaga thing. Stop. You are now.
Honorable members, please. We are not just in a conversation. We are in a parliament and we have rules. These items found space on the order paper because they are pending business. And so if you look at the standing orders, you have to keep on capturing them on the standing orders because they are business before the House. They were earlier on admitted by the Speaker. They were presented to the House. They are before us and they are not completed. So they will always find space on the standard, in the order paper. But I have stated clearly that in view of the limitation of time and the season, we will not do justice to this business if we decide to take them now. As a result of that, we should take just a few key items that can keep the wheel of governance going and the public interest attended to. And that is why I mentioned those items, particularly as they've been agreed to by both sides of the House. And so let's take to that. The others, there will be no time to consider them if we really want to do good business for the people of Ghana. Please, let's move on. There are other things that I want to inform you. But yes, Minority Leader.
Right Honourable Speaker, let me also comment on the business statement. The Speaker, this morning I made it clear to my colleague, the Honourable Afenyo Markin, that it will be wrong for an outgoing government to commit an incoming government to millions of US dollars, which will be a fiscal strain on the next budget. The Speaker, I said this on the backdrop that before us, they are proposing to buy ships worth 140 million euros at this time. The Speaker, it is very wrong for a government that is leaving office in 3 weeks, to commit 140 million euros. The Speaker, if it is extremely important for the state, allow the new government to commit them. Right Honourable Speaker, the tax exemptions before us, if approved, will have a fiscal burden in the next budget. So you are saying that the next government should carry your burden of $350 million? Mr. Speaker, no way. No way. It's not going to happen. Right Honourable Speaker, as we speak, there is no 2025 budget. Activities before us cannot commit to the 2025 budget. You don't know the priorities of the next government. Look, I reviewed the Hansard before coming here. The Honourable Chairman Bosu is a precedent to me. Okay, it's authority on this matter. In 2016, what he said to us, and it is for that reason why today we were not able to take the loan for Dam and Go Water. I brought Dam and Go Water before us. They said to us that you cannot commit the next government, and if it is urgent or important, allow the next government to take it. So, Mr. Speaker, issues that will commit this country, as long as our budget is concerned, Mr. Speaker, I beg to say that let us leave it for the next administration to handle. But there are other low-hanging fruits here, like the Environmental Protection Agency bill. It is only, we finished the bill, we have left with only the third reading. Mr. Speaker, that one, if you want to do it, you can do it. If you don't want it, the next minister responsible for environment will come and do it. But anything else, Mr. Speaker, it won't happen. It will not happen. Thank you.